Hello viewers, Namaskar. Welcome to another edition of Fellowship Varta. Today we have got Dr. Divya P Kumar from JSS Medical College, Mysore. Dr. Divya, welcome to our program. And we would
Thank
like
you.
to learn about your academic journey, from where you started in India and how did you land up in US.
Okay. Thank you so much for the invitation, sir. And firstly, I think on behalf of all the future aspirants and the Indian researchers, I would thank you for all the efforts that you have been putting in to have this video made. Thank you so much. So, to give you my background, I did my master's in biotechnology from University of Mysore and then moved to the United States for my PhD in Virginia Commonwealth University. So, I worked with Dr. Arun Sanyal and Murthy Karnam in the Department of Physiology and Biophysics at VCU School of Medicine. So I graduated in 2014, and after that I secured my NIH T32 fellowship for my postdoctoral fellowship and continued with Dr. Arun Sanyal at Virginia Commonwealth University. I did my 3 years of postdoc and then returned to India at JSS Medical College with my Ramalingaswamy Reentry Fellowship.
Dr. Divya, thank you for this introduction. What I could guess, what I could take from your introduction, that you had gone there to do your PhD initially, and subsequently you did your postdoc also. Question is, did you take or write any fellowship examination to go to US like people are writing GRE, TOEFL, and those kind of things? Or did you have some other route?
Yes, sir. I did take my GRE and TOEFL.
Okay.
I did take my GRE and TOEFL. So I had the qualified
So,
examination.
would you
So
like
what
to
in
share?
my case,
Yeah, would you like to share our viewers how to prepare for GRE and TOEFL? What are your tips?
yeah, I think when I prepared for GRE and TOEFL, it was 2010. And so now recently the pattern of the exam, the marks, scoring, everything has been changed. So honestly, I've not gone back and looked up the format. So then I think when I was preparing for GRE and TOEFL, I didn't take my subject specific examination. So it was purely English, qualitative, quantitative analysis, then essay writing. So these were the norms that was there in the GRE format, and TOEFL is purely English with essay writing and your vocabulary skills. So there was no subject specific requirement at VCU. In my case, I think I had to move with my husband, so either of us had to make a choice that who is going to be first. So my husband was going for a postdoctoral fellowship, so the choice we had decided that he takes the first choice. So he decided to go with Virginia Commonwealth University because he got a postdoctoral fellowship there. And then my choice was limited by then, so my choice was VCU. Initial first year, I had to compromise because in 2009, when we moved into US, the academic year was over. So we moved in 2009 May. And then, though I had my GRE and TOEFL score, we had like one period of lag that I had to wait for the next academic call for the fall. So what I did was I got my authorization with J2 and immediately got started with internship, did my research assistant position for another year, and then applied for 2011 cycle. So that was the mean. So for people who are going with dependent visa or who have that period where you have to wait, my suggestion would be that you quickly get into the internship positions or get into the job as research associate, gain as much as experience in any country that you're going so
How
that you
easy
are
or
equipped
difficult they
with.
are?
It is difficult. I have never wasted even a single day. The moment I landed to US, I think the next day I was there applying for my work authorization. So fortunately, I got it within 2 months. So 2 months, what I did was I worked for free. So you have to, uh, have that attitude not to waste your time, rather utilize that period of time to do a free work, get into internship position, and it's a win-win because somebody is giving you an opportunity to work in their lab. So thinking that way, you make the best use of the lab facility. So I think around 2 to 3 months I have worked for free. which I feel very fortunate working with scientists there, where I got in experience. So I had my only master degree year, so I had my wet lab experience for 3 months. The minute I got my work authorization, I applied for positions immediately where I was able to get research assistant positions there. So I did my job for a year. And then the next following academic year, I enrolled as a PhD student there.
Can you tell us more about your NIH fellowship? NIH fellowship.
This NIH, yeah, NIH T32 fellowship is an institutional fellowship which is given mainly for the green card holders. So by the time I finished my PhD in 2014, we went to US in 2009, so I completed in 2014. By then 2013 we had our green card. So the NIH T32 institutional postdoctoral fellowship demands one to have either a green card or you have to be a citizen. So for me, it worked out because I had my green card, and then immediately Dr. Arun Sanyal was the leading PI for the NIH T32 fellowship at VCU School of Medicine,
So it is
preferably
something,
given to the
yeah,
clinician, but at
it,
exceptional cases.
it is something like various national funding agency are giving projects and faculty is recruiting students here also.
That's right. It is an NIH which is giving it to the VCU School of Medicine, mainly for the residencies as well as the gastroenterology clinicians. But exceptionally, they also take in researchers in T32
Yeah,
fellowship.
Dr. Divya, can you briefly tell us about the kind of research you did as a PhD candidate and as PDF?
My PhD work was on diabetes. I should say my mentors were Dr. Arun Sanyal and Dr. Murthy Kannam. Dr. Arun Sanyal is a well-renowned hepatologist. So his field of work was non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, alcoholic, more focused on liver. Dr. Murthy Kannam was on the gastrointestinal smooth muscle cell related research. I was put into a project on diabetes working on pancreas. So both stream was different, and it was very challenging for me initially, but fortunately both the mentors were very supportive. They provided all the requirements that a graduate student needs. So I think I didn't find it very hard. They supported me that I can go to other labs, learn. There were other diabetic centers which were isolating pancreatic islets from mouse, so they provided me all the opportunities wherein I could explore. That gave me an opportunity to work on diabetes, though both my mentors were in different streams. So I was working on elucidating the role of TGR5, a transmembrane receptors, in the pancreatic beta cells. So that was my PhD project. Following up on that, I think then I decided I have to fix on to my mentor's field of study, which is very important, based on one of the Dr. Maklouf's suggestion that you need. I also applied for another postdoctoral fellowship in UT Southwestern, where that was on a diabetes field. But then Dr. Sanyal wanted me to stay back and continue my postdoctoral work with him, and then I decided to move from diabetes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So I started working on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in Dr. Sanyal's lab for 3 years,
Very good.
where it was a very good blend because I had the opportunity to work with clinicians. So that was a very wonderful opportunity, basic science, clinical science. So that was a more a collaborative project where I had an opportunity to work at VCU School of Medicine.
Uh, Dr. Divya, what would be your advice to future aspirants, especially those who are looking to do PhD from abroad? So you have done PhD from US system, but lot of people are looking for opportunity. So how should they prepare and how they should find a possible placement in good universities?
Yeah, for me, I mean, the option was limited because I had to, and the US was decided, but then I had limited choices in terms of university because we always wanted to stay together with family. But then for people who have choices, I think the first choice is which country you want to get in. either US, UK, Germany. There are different options based on the requirements. And then secondly, one has to be aware of what are the criteria that the university demands, whether you need to take up GRE, TOEFL. UK has a different system. Germany doesn't need an examination. But then which country you go to. And then I think for all of this, the base is how good your CV is. How much of research experience have you got in India? Because all of these fellowships are very competitive, and then most of these fellowship pay for PhD students on a regular basis, where you have that full-fledged PhD with fellowship. So I think these are very competitive, wherein you have to prepare yourself well in advance and apply based on which country of choice you are going to.
Thank you, Dr. Divya. So
And one
actually,
thing I would like
yeah.
to say is there is no shortcut as such. There
No.
is no shortcut as such. Uh, So whether you work in India or in other parts of the world, because I have heard this, because many have this perception that the other side of the liver is always greener. So I want to make this point very clear. Either you do your PhD in India or outside India, both have pros and cons. Challenges do exist in any part of the world you are in. It comes in different forms. So I think it's not that those who do PhDs in other parts of the world are much happier. No, there are circumstances where you do a PhD for 5 to 6 years, sometimes 7 years. So you have to understand that challenges do exist in any part of the world you are in.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Divya, for sharing that it's not all rosy. You need to walk on the ground full of challenges, opportunities, and whatnot. And the important message I took from this conversation is that you need to understand the requirement of the university you are trying to go in. How one could select?
Yes, sir.
You should see the university ranking. There are several QS ranking, THE ranking. That is one standard. Second is instead of looking university,
That's
you
right.
could also look at the faculty because you should know where is your interest
Yes,
and
that's
who is the
that's very,
faculty.
very critical.
Yeah, who is the faculty doing research in that particular area? And then enter into a dialogue. Of course, what Dr. Divya said a little ago, you need to prepare the system. Like someone require examination, someone require interview, someone require some other kind of assessment. You should be ready for that and prepare yourself.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Divya. It was nice talking to you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.